Hello and welcome to the Dinosaw for week 47, another 7 curious, interesting things I saw last week. So as ever, let's crack on. First one is the Quadrion, and this is a biomimicry penguin, submersible thingamy-bob, drone should we call it, Bionic Penguin. And if you want one of these things, you can now buy them, which is amazing. So this thing will do 5 meters per second, lasts for up to 10 hours, 6 or 8 apparently is the recommended, and it can go down to 150 meters. You can also swim these in swarms as well if you've got a bunch of money. I don't know how much they cost, by the way, but they are available. But I'm really kind of looking out for the next one, which is called the Grey Shark, and it's about 3 tons. It can do 1,100 nautical miles and go down to 650 meters. That will start testing next year. If you want one of those, I suggest you start saving now. That sounds expensive. There you go. Generative AI agents. These are generally agents, AIs that can do a bunch of things and figure stuff out for themselves. So what Cornell University have done is they've taken 1,052 human beings and given them a general survey, quite literally the general social survey, which is a thing in America. I didn't know, but it sounds kind of cool. Just sort of general opinions on everyday things. And they trained an AI, and then they unleashed 1,000 AI agents, or AI people, as they've called it in their title. And it will give you answers 85% as accurate as normal people. Now, why this is interesting is if you do things like reviews, or you do maybe user testing, or maybe you even are setting policies for governments, and you want to know what people might think about things, well, now you can ask these AI agents and you'll get an 85% accurate steer on what normal people would say. That's really, really interesting. So what you do with that, I'm not really sure on whether you now need to just check that out, but that'll only get more accurate as well. So we might start seeing policies and also products maybe being developed where no humans were actually asked in the initial parts, at least anyway. And Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 is out. If you want to get that, it's irritating for me because my PlayStation or my Xbox won't play it and I don't have a PC, but I really, really want to play this. The reason this caught my eye is because they say, and it's in sort of quotes, digital twin of Earth is involved in this. Now, a couple of years ago, we would have called that the metaverse and we would have scoffed at it. But people like NVIDIA are actually trying to create a digital twin of Earth with everything from, buildings to weather systems to thermals. And it's exactly what Flight Simulator's got in here, but not the entire of Earth. So in reality, it's 500 cities, 150 kilometers square of countryside, and also 150 airports. But because they've mapped things like thermals and weather systems, you can now fly balloons and all sorts of stuff. But they also have a procedural element in this as well, so they can make up stuff as well. They can make up the rest of the 40,000 procedural airports and also 1.5 billion buildings. There's something like a couple of trillion trees in there as well. So that's really, really cool. If your PC can do that, then it's 60 something pounds, I think it is, for the base version of this, but it's pretty cool. This is Phil, and Phil has a YouTube channel, and I follow it because I'm a sort of an audio-y type person. And what he does is he takes brilliant singers and shows you how brilliant their voices are, but he also then outs other people for maybe saying they're brilliant singers, but really they're auto-tuned, or maybe they use pitch correction or that sort of thing. And he's gone for the mother load in this one. He's gone after Taylor Swift, especially on her Eras tour. So lots of people in the audience have sent him audio recordings of the tour. And if you then layer those on top of each other, it literally lines up. So they're using an audio track, or allegedly, according to Phil, by the way, if there's any lawyers listening. But what he's doing here is he's showing you using sort of a frequency analysis. If you then layer them on top of each other, they should not in any way overlap. Just human beings can't do the same thing twice. But not only does it, but it does it from all around the world, including the trailer as well. So they are essentially using an audio track, and Taylor Swift has been miming, allegedly, to the entire tour. So that's really kind of interesting. But if you're interested in stuff like this, Phil is also an artist and a musician in his own right, but great channel. If you're into this sort of nerdy stuff, then definitely follow him. It's awesome. Carpet is a big issue. I have carpets. You probably have carpets too. America is one of the biggest carpet waste producers. 3.4 million tons of carpet is thrown away in America each year. I think Australia is the second biggest carpet thrower, whatever the phrase is. However, Luckily, scientists have figured out what to do with it. If you mix it in concrete, you can actually make it a lot more strong and a lot more flexible. I think this is in Melbourne University, at least Technical University over there. And if you, depending on what you mix in with it and how long the fibers are, you can actually get, for instance, tensile strength, 39% more tensile strength. And also, you know, shrinkage and all that sort of stuff is improved as well. So depending on what the fiber is, how long it is, and how you use it, it's actually got some really good benefits. So there you go. Who'd have thought carpets are improving building materials? There you go. Drones. I'm into drones. All of a sudden, I've got a bunch of drones. The DJI Neo is the latest one. It's this tiny little drone. Here you go. I'll show you it now. It's this big. So if you've never thought about getting a drone before, you've always wanted one, this is 199 quid. And it is amazing. You do not even need a controller. You literally just press some buttons on it and it will take off from your hand and follow you, and you can do all that sporty stuff you're seeing here. However, they've now unveiled the N3 goggles, so you can now do acrobatics with it as well. You put on the goggles, you get the first person perspective on them. And they're £229, so they're not exactly cheap, but they're a lot cheaper than the £600 or the £550 other versions of them. There are other ways to get into drone flying as well, by the way. If you want to get into some relatively cheap stuff, you can kind of do it for maybe 200 quid if you use the right sort of platform. But, you know, just to give you an example, DJI Neo is that one, and that's kind of the one that they all started with, the Phantom, and great progress, should we say. So if you're into a drone, then DJI Neo is awesome, and it now has goggles. And finally, we have this one from Kazuyo Shibata. And if you've ever dropped your phone on your face whilst you're in bed watching YouTube videos, then this is for you. He has a load of these really quirky little inventions on his Instagram channel, so definitely go and have a look at that. But this one senses when the phone is dropping. It's just basically a quick sensor at the top, and then it then closes this face mask so you don't get smacked in your face with your phone. Lots of other inventions on his Instagram, as I said. Go and check them out. It's kind of interesting. But there you go. Hopefully that was interesting. Hopefully it was useful. If it was, give it a like, share it with somebody awesome, and I'll see you next week.